Hi, welcome back to Just an Everyday Fan. Last night was more than what was expected. The Fever went into overtime with the Las Vegas Aces, but the Aces ultimately took the Fever 107-98. Now, it was bittersweet. So we had a team, and if you think back from the beginning of the season, this team had so much adversity. I would say it had more than any other team in the WNBA as far as losing players to injuries. Now, I can tell you this, and this is my opinion and my opinion only. The referee, the officiating, is horrible. It still sucks. And Kathy Engelberg hasn't done anything to change it. So that's on her. Now, I started thinking back, and this is just what I can remember off the top of my head. This is in no way an all-inclusive list. Now, I will say that my issue, and I understand, being a referee is difficult. You have 3 people on the floor running constantly, trying to watch the ball, trying to watch the fouls, trying to watch the clock. So, is it difficult? Yes, I understand that. But they're supposed to be professionals. So how in the world can you have a call like you had with Lexi Hall when Napheesa Smith hit her? And to me, it was a flagrant one because Lexi was in a screen. She was standing. Napheesa Smith could have gone either direction to avoid, but she didn't. She went directly into her, and not only did she go into her, she brought her arms out and up to send Lexi flying onto the floor. Now, Lexi has taken hit after hit after hit after hit this season. It has been absolutely phenomenal what she has endured this entire season, if you think about it. Think about everything. Think about the lips, the black eyes. Think about all the injuries. Think about how she keeps on taking a hit and still getting up to play. So my gratitude goes out to Lexi Hall. Now, I'm not sure what is going on with Kelsey Mitchell because last night in the third quarter, Kelsey went down. And first she was grabbing her patella area in her knee, and she was just kind of moving it back and forth. And then all of a sudden she grabbed a passing ref, grabbed him, and she just went down to the floor as he helped her. And then we hear in the post-game from Stephanie White that she had severe cramping. Now, I'm not sure how this occurs. So cramping would come from maybe an electrolyte imbalance. So it's up to the trainers and the people that are, you see the players. Number one, they're not outside in the heat. They're not outside in the sun. Yes, they're losing water. They're losing sweat. They're losing vital minerals. But they're also intaking. So who was watching Kelsey and making sure she intook plenty of Gatorade or electrolytes or supplements? Whose job was that? Was it one of the trainers? Kelsey supposedly, after Caitlin Clark went out, Kelsey was the number 1, right? So why don't you look after your number 1? Why don't you keep an intake chart on what they're taking in and what they're taking out? Because to me, this was negligence. This was negligence, whether it be on the player part, the training staff part, or Stephanie White. This is basic stuff. You have to make sure the intake matches the output. I mean, you see other people on the sidelines like AT, you see her taking in shots, right? You see her taking in the gel shots. You see her taking in plenty of fluids. You see her taking in all the stuff she needs in order to feed her muscles and keep her electrolytes and her sugar where it needs to be for what she needs during the game. So why wasn't someone watching Kelsey Mitchell? This part I don't get. Now, from the top of my head, I think the fans understand that refereeing is a difficult task. I think we all get that. But what we want to see is consistency. So you have Melissa checking Lexi, and it was a common foul. When both of the announcers, Rebecca Lobo and the other announcer, said it was a flagrant one, no doubt about it. She extended the arms up and out, which showed intent to put Lexi on her back. And why were they trying to take Lexi out? Because Lexi, everyone knows it, Lexi has had difficulty with her back. So if you see her on the sideline, you see her with the electrostimulation belt around her, trying to take care of her back when she's sitting out on her rest breaks. Now, this is just what I can remember, and I don't remember all of them. So y'all help me out here. If there's someone that I have not, this is not an all-inclusive list by any means. So just the injuries that I remember. So Katie Lou Samuelson, we already know. Jordan Horston, Kia, I think it's Mule. Excuse me if I mispronounced the last name. Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Colson, Ari McDonald, Caitlin Clark ×3, Kelsey Mitchell, Paige Beckers, Asia Wilson, Napheesa Collier, Brianna Stewart, Jonquel Jones, Dejanay Carrington, Georgia Amore, Chloe Bibby, Lee LaRue, Cameron Brink, Enrique, Lexi Held. Those are the ones that I could just pull off the top of my head. Now, I don't know all the players that were out for Sonia Citron. I believe she was out at one point. It's hard to know. There are so many. So the question I have to you fans, okay? Y'all know this better than I do because you have been watching for years. Is this a normal injury roster? This seems excessive to me. 2025 seems extremely excessive on the injuries. Let me know in the comments down below on that what you think. So, and I want to go into, this morning I just saw Napheesa Collier in her exit interview on Kathy Engelberg. Now, I have to agree with Napheesa Collier on every single point she made. Kathy Engelberg needs to be fired. She needs to go. Kathy Engelberg Napheesa Collier, if y'all haven't seen the exit interview, please look it up. It's about 4 minutes roughly and 10 seconds. Watch it because it's eye-opening. Now, from the beginning, I always believed that Kathy Engelberg disliked Caitlin Clark. And she was calling the referees to not make certain calls against Caitlin Clark. So she had a special whistle, but it was a negative whistle, meaning anyone could do anything to Caitlin Clark and not be called. And what happened? Caitlin Clark was out for the whole season. I think that was Kathy Engelberg's total intent. Take Caitlin Clark out. We don't need her. We need her on the sidelines. We need her in the WNBA. We need her selling tickets for us, but we don't want her playing. So even Paige Becker coming in she absolutely said in a presser that she was surprised at what she could get away with no fouls being called on Caitlin Clark. And then later in the season, you have Paige Beckers becoming the target after Caitlin Clark was sidelined. So it almost seemed like there were rolling targets for these players and these teams. Who to take out to make sure the teams had the better advantage to advance to the finals. And there are some dirty teams, and I'm not going to go into that. And there are dirty players. I think we all know who they are. Which is difficult for me because I hear that college ball is not like the WNBA. You have some injuries. You don't have all of these injuries like you do in the WNBA. The refs are professional. They call, and they call early. So the players don't push. We had everything from ACLs, broken noses, groins, knees, broken feet, ankles, concussions, pneumothoraxes. Those are some pretty serious injuries. We had busted lips. If I want to be probably honest, we probably had a fractured eye socket that they couldn't do anything about. You saw Lexi. What do y'all think on the injuries? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, I've been struggling with, I'm learning about WNBA. So this is my first year, as y'all know. And I'm just an everyday fan. So my friend is trying to push me to go in and watch college basketball now that it's going to start ramping up. I know nothing about college basketball. I don't know the main players. I know there's UConn. I know there's South Carolina, LSU, Baylor, Florida. Those are pretty much all the ones that I've heard about. I don't even know. I know Juju Watkins was supposed to be the up-and-coming player, but she is now out for the 2026 season with an ACL that she suffered this year. I'm not sure what's going on with her ACL. Normally, it's about a 9-10 month after the surgery. It's about a 9-10 month rehab, and if it's done right, the player's good to go for the next season. Do y'all think that I should go over and try to watch college ball? Because I hear it's a little different. I hear it's called a little differently. I think I'm going to like college ball probably more than the WNBA. It seems like it's more of a professional organization than the WNBA. And I think that the WNBA has a black eye. And I think that black eye is really a direct effect of Kathy Engelberg and her lack of leadership. What do y'all think in the comments down below? Do you agree with Napheesa Collier? I mean, we saw the pinpointed attitude that she mentioned toward Caitlin Clark. If Napheesa Collier, and I like Fee, I think she's articulate, I think she's intelligent, I think she has the best interest of the players in mind. I don't think she would go on national TV and YouTube and everything else and slander herself and say that Kathy Engelberg said Caitlin Clark is, quote, lucky that she has her $16 million off-court price coming in, that it's all due to the WNBA, which is incorrect, okay? If Kathy actually said that to Napheesa, that is incorrect. So the NIL, when she was in college at Iowa, she had already signed Gatorade and Nike and Buick and State Farm. Those came with her into the WNBA. Kathy Engelberg did not do any of that for Caitlin Clark. The WNBA did not do any of that for Caitlin Clark. Now, the Nike shoe deal, I know, was released when she was in the WNBA. And the Wilson basketball deal was released when she was in the WNBA. Those are the only two that I know about, but I don't know about every sponsorship and contract that Caitlin Clark may or may not have. I think this is all getting very convoluted. I want next year for the WNBA, number one, and my friend told me that he saw something where Stephanie White wanted to sue the WNBA for the officiating. I don't know if that's true or correct. I haven't heard it from Stephanie White's mouth, so I'm not going to believe it. At this point, to me, it's rumored. And I really am not going to get on and dig and try to confirm or deny, because it seems absolutely ridiculous. What they need to do is, if they want to do anything, the players and the coaches and the fans need to sign petitions and give to Adam Silver to say we're demanding Kathy Engelberg's termination. So she needs to be gone, and someone needs to be brought in that knows what they're doing and that cares about their players and that is going to address the issues, which is the poor officiating. We just want fair officiating, right? We know mistakes are going to be made. We know calls are going to be missed, but we want fair. You had Nalissa checking Lexi like she did, which is a flagrant, but it was called for a foul, just a common foul. Then in another game, you had the same thing happen, and they called it as a flagrant. So it's inconsistent. I think the fans, I think the players, I think the coaches just want fair calling and consistency throughout the games. So if I'm Adam Silver, number one, I'm getting rid of Kathy Engelberg. Number two, I'm seeing what we can do about the officiating. So do we hold over NBA? Is there a way, and I because I don't follow college ball or the NBA, I don't know when it begins, when it ends, and I don't know about the officiation and if those officials would be available to come to the WNBA, or if there's an overlap or something like that. So I'm not certain on that. Now, I think there's something that can be done. You know, certainly. I didn't like any of the officiation this season. I'm just going to tell you. The gentleman that was the head officiator, I think it was, I'm not even sure what his name was last night during the Fever game. He didn't like the Indiana Fever anyway because of Caitlin Clark. She got into it with him, and nothing was called but a common foul. So I think that there was some bias. But I don't think that that's why they lost the game. They lost the game just because they ran out of steam. They ran out of bench. I think they did what they could do in a bad situation. I don't think it was necessarily Stephanie White and her coaching abilities. Again, it was the players and their ability to just step up, all of them. It was almost like the Bad News Bears with all of the injuries and them having to pull people in, and as soon as they pulled someone in, they were injured. So I don't know. What do we do going forward to keep teams, and especially Caitlin Clark, right? Because we know everyone is after Caitlin Clark for whatever reason. Don't know why, because she's the one bringing everyone up. She's the one lifting everyone. She's the one that's going to lift pay increases. She's the one that has the most voice, if you will. And because she has been beaten down and battered, she's just being very quiet. I don't know if she'll be in on the CBA or not, and we have that coming up. So the Aces are going to take on the Mercury in the finals. My pick, and this is just me, don't really want to see it happen, but I think the Mercury are going to take the championship. There's no stopping AT right now, and that's just that. Unless Jackie Young just comes out, and plus the Mercury are coming off of a 5-day rest where the Aces just finished their last game last night. They have exactly 2 days until they have 48 hours to rest and get ready for the first game of the finals on Friday night. That to me is not fair, that one team has that much of a rest period while the other does not. It just seems like there's just a lot of things that need to be worked out with the WNBA. You know, everyone kind of says, well, it's just entertainment. It's not really basketball. And I'm going to call BS on that, because these women, and this is what I told my friend, we had the conversation this morning. These women, whatever you view it, these women go out, they put their bodies on their line. They put their careers on the line every time they step onto that court for pennies on the dollar. Yeah, to me and you, it might seem like, wow, you know, that's a lot of money. Caitlin Clark's pulling in $16 million. It's nothing compared to what other pro athletes pull in. If you look at Tiger Woods, if you look at baseball, if you look at football, if you look at the NBA, I think their least paid player is right at around an average of $10 million a year. To $250,000 max contract for women. And there's only a certain number of people, and it's not the Caitlin Clark and the Paige Beckers that are getting those contracts because they're forced into a very low-paying rookie 4-year contract when they first go into the WNBA from college or walk on, free agency, whatever, however they get there. So they're forced into these low-paying contracts. They get 10% of the merge sales where the NBA gets 50. So it's split 50-50 for the NBA. Yet it's their name, it's their personality, it's their reputation, it's their characterization that are selling all this merch. It's selling all of these tickets, and they're not being compensated. Yet, look at what's happened to Caitlin Clark this year. Think of you have to wonder what she would actually have done this year, because when she came out of the gate, this has been a long season. When she came out of the gate, her first game was a triple-double. No one else did that. And then the target was on everyone. They targeted Caitlin Clark to injure her, to take her out. And it was multiple teams that did it. And Paige Becker even confirmed what she could get away with against Caitlin Clark. She was so surprised. So there it is. There is no fairness. There is no equity. And if Caitlin is sidelined and out, they move to the next person. And then when they're sidelined and out, they move to the next person. It is what it is. This organization, the WNBA, the league, needs an overhaul. So I hope Adam Silver realizes that if you want to continue building all of those great NBA stadiums, NBA makes a lot of money. If they're paying every player $10 million to $50 million for their top players, they make a lot of money, plus merge sales and everything else that they get. Ticket sales. So they're building stadiums. And cities say, well, you're not going to build a stadium. We're not going to put a bond on the ballot to build a stadium unless you bring us philanthropy, right? So they're going, oh, okay, well, we support women's basketball, and here's how we do it. Now, women's basketball is a write-off for the WNBA. Up until now, it has not made any money. But they're using it to get these state-of-the-art facilities. They're using it to get the votes for the propositions to pass, to increase taxes, to build. If someone doesn't come in and just put up the seed or front money to build a multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art facility. The NBA really, and Adam Silver really can't do without the WNBA. They're the tax write-off that balances those taxes that are paid. They are the end to get the stadiums built in the cities because they're doing this for women. So they're using the women's team to get what they want for the men's team. And this is my viewpoint. So what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for supporting this channel. Please let me know if I should go into college ball and where I should start, because I know nothing. I don't even know when college ball starts. I know none of the players other than I heard Juju Watkins. I know no one else. Let me know down in the comments below, please. For those of you that continue to watch my channel and comment, I appreciate it. Let me know if you watch college ball or if you just keep it to the WNBA. As always, until next time.